Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to my friends and students. So today we are going to learn something about Kalman filter. So it's very important for uh, state estimation and um, output prediction also. Okay, so normally in classical concept, so let us draw a basic block of control system. So basically this is the process, this is your input, then this is your measurement, and that is your output. So basically this is the mm, uh, classical concept of control system. So normally in case of a closed loop, so feedback will be given, all these things will be there. Now, and this kind of control system, it is represented by state space. X dot is equal to ax plus b and y is equal to cx plus d du, that we know. But now the question is coming, this process can give some noise and the measurement also can give some noise. In that case that is the practical case. In that case, your state prediction or estimation and your measurement both will be noisy. Then how to overcome this issue? Because these are the things cannot be done directly by any analytical method, because all noises are random in nature. Then how to do? So for that, this is a very unique concept. When I have seen it first time, then I was thinking how to use it. So now this is the Kalman filter. So this is the Kalman filter which can be introduced, which will take the input as well as the noisy measurement. It will not access the states. So here is the states. It will not access the state, and from there it will give you the corrected state, okay, and your corrected measurement. So basically, very simply, this is the concept of Kalman filter. So as I told, when the process, so basically process is nothing but the transition of its state. Okay. So here we will add some noise W, and here we will, so this is the process noise, W is the process noise, and here we will use V, that is the measurement noise. But here one consideration is there, this both the noise are normally distributed, okay, and it having a zero mean. With these two conditions, except without these two conditions, if the process, this measurement and the process noise are not normally distributed, and if it does not have the zero mean, then use of Kalman filter will be difficult. Okay, so now we are considering one more statistical quantity. The covariance of the process noise is Q and the covariance of the measurement noise is R. Okay, so with this very simple thing, we are not going inside, because there are a lot of equations are there. It is, if you minutely see, you can take any book, and if you see minutely, you can understand. Nothing is there. Simply, it is very easily, it will be understandable. I have gone through standard book. It is really not so much, by seeing the symbol, whatever it is showing, that very much complicated, but it's not like that. If you see, it will be clear. I am coming to mainly this lecture, I am more focusing towards its application, where I can use. So I was thinking for several months, and how to use it. First, I am thinking how to simulate it at least. So I am considering one process which is giving, actually my target is to, because my basic area of my research is motor control, induction motor control. So in induction motor control, the asynchronous induction machine, asynchronous AC induction machine, it will be operated like a separately excited DC machine. So for that, every instant you have to predict, or you have to estimate the instantaneous rotor flux position. This we are doing through some analytical method, but it may not always correct, because this kind of noises will be there, process and the measurement noise. And from there we need to update every time the inverse rotor time constant, based on the time constant means L by R. So this will depend, this will be the resistance may vary with temperature when the motor is loaded. All these things, all this kind of uncertainty will be involved. So there, by straightforward governing equation may not be fruitful for the dynamic condition, and the entire and the exact or the correct value of this instantaneous rotor flux position and its time constant, it is very much important to maintain, to control the dynamics of the machine. So in such case, this Kalman filter will be useful, because you are considering the entire system as stochastic. So let us consider one process which will giving 10% error, that is the process disturbance 10%, and the measurement will give 30% error. Okay, and we are considering the initial state, the first and one more thing, this initialization. To implement the Kalman filter, the initialization is very important, because If your initial value is much more away from the actual steady state value, then it may take more time to converge. So always whenever we are doing anything, in my opinion, to have a very clear concept about the dynamics is always better to go ahead. Without knowing the dynamics of the system, if you are going to apply anything, it may take some time to go closer to the solution or to converge it. So in my case, I am thinking, I am considering it's a randomly taken. It's considering the value is initial value is 10. Okay. Now directly I am going to the code. So this is the sample. This is the sample. And this is the C matrix. This is the D matrix. I have taken D and this B as 0. This is the X, as I told, this is the initial state. As I told, this I have taken deliberately, randomly. You can tell I have taken initial state, initial condition for the state. This is the initial condition for the predicted state. Actually, one thing I forget to tell you, this Kalman filter work based on the actual, it will predict, then based on the prediction it will correct. This will go recursively. So this is basically prediction, update and correction, and do the same recursively. Okay, so to start the process, the prior knowledge of previous state or the initialization is very much important. Okay, so this is the actual state initial condition, this is the predicted state initial condition, and this is the corrected state initialization. And I am considering the input is 0.1. Okay, so as it is a vector, so I am taking it as a 1. So it is that many. How many? This is basically, it is a column vector. So that many row, 1 of that many row. So this P is the what I told, the P is the covariance matrix. Okay, this all equation I have taken from a book and simply I typed it. You can follow any book. So the initial condition for the covariance matrix is this. I means it's a diagonal matrix identity. Sorry, it's an I means identity matrix. So 3 cross 3 identity matrix. And Q, what I told, this Q basically that is the error, that is the process disturbance. What was that actually? That was 10%. So that's why I take an entire thing 10 10 10, and your measurement noise is 30%. So that's why I have taken that is as 0.3. Now everything, as I told, recursively. So it is I am putting these things inside a for loop. Okay, so this is the A matrix, this is to be predicted. So basically this video I am making for my student, a group of student from Jadavpur and SSN college, who are working for inverse rotor time constant estimation. So you have already estimated using neural network, but this will be done. The next project is to apply Kalman filter and to estimate it. Okay. So in my YouTube there will be 5 or 6 videos will be there on system identification and the ident tool in MATLAB, how to from the time domain response how to get the state space model. So you can follow that, and for any process you can find out what is the state transition matrix, input and output matrix, all these things you can find out. So I have taken one state transition matrix. It's a 3 cross because I am taking the state vector, the 3 states I have considered state variable. So that's why I have, it's a 3 cross 3 matrix. So I have taken randomly some from my mind, and this is the actual system. You know, x dot is equal to ax plus bu, so that only I have written. So this is the actual. Now as I told, there will be some noise, so I am using random noise. So there is a function inbuilt library is there in MATLAB which is called random function. So that 10% of that I have added with the process, and 30% of the things I have added with the measurement. Then I am, this part is the corrected value. So the corrected value is nothing but the it is same. See, all the equations are same. It is recursively happening. Now this is the p hat. P hat means that covariance matrix, that is the corrected value. So these all equations I have taken from a book. You can see the book. Simply I have typed the equation. How it is coming, you can refer the book and you will understand. So here the p hat is like this. Already this is the A matrix, and P already we have defined. You see in the beginning, P I have defined, it's an identity matrix, third order identity matrix. Okay, and Q also it is defined. This is called the this is I am that covariance, the covariance I am modifying it, and using that I am calculating the optimal Kalman gain. Okay, then I am correcting the state and the measurement, applying the Kalman gain. Okay, and you see this x hat and y hat, it will be used here to correct the value. So these things will be going recursively. Okay, got it? So what I am doing, I am defining some matrix with some initial condition, and as per the governing equation of the Kalman filter, basically I am finding the Kalman gain, optimal Kalman gain, and using the optimal Kalman gain I am correcting the predicted value, and this is getting updated here. This process is going recursively. Now let us see if I run the, so here you see this is the actual which will be in red color, this is the predicted which will be K means something color, and corrected value should be in blue color. Let me run. Now I will zoom one part. Now see the if you see the code, this red color is the actual. Okay, then I'll use some different color. K means what? K means 001, means black, 000, black. So this black color graph is the that will be the predicted one, and X, that blue color will be the corrected one. So let us run once again. Okay, you see based on the actual, so this black color is the predicted one and blue color is the corrected one. So you see based on actual and the predicted value, it is trying to follow the actual one. So this is a very simple way I have explained without going to much more details of that, but it is very well possible if you read thoroughly that any standard book, you will understand how it is happening, and you can write your own code. So now I will request the group of students who are working on inverse rotor time constant estimation, that Rohit, Shreya, Anish, Shudi and Madhu. So I will request you to go through this video first, then there will be a series of 5 lecture in my YouTube channel on system identification. So you take one example of DC to DC converter and how to establish the state space model of that. I clearly from the scratch I have explained there, so you can find out the A, B, C, D matrix from that video. Then using you can use a random error value. So test that process error, you can use the same thing, 10% and 30% you can use, or 5%, 10%, whatever may be. Using that, you try to predict the output and the states. Okay, so here you see, here I have only plotted for state only. So similarly you can plot for output also. So that is your next assignment. And once you are converge with these things, what I will suggest you, take one standard book. From there, try to correlate what I have written in the code. It is nothing but very simple. So this is your next assignment. So based on your convenience, you complete it and let me know. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Take care. Bye.